Hello all, hereafter we are going to talk about the antenna parameters. So let us talk about the radiation pattern first. So this is a very essential representation to understand the different antenna parameters. So let us see the definition of the radiation pattern first. So the radiation pattern is nothing but the graphical representation. This is the graphical representation of the radiation, whereas when we are talking about the radiation, we say that our radiation is always in the far field region. So this will be in the far field. So this is the radiation of the antenna, or you can say this is the graphical representation of the radiation of the antenna as a function of direction. So here whenever we are talking about the radiation pattern, how we are going to measure the radiation pattern of any antenna. So the radiation pattern of a test antenna, now here we are talking about the antenna whose radiation pattern needs to be measured. So when you talk about this antenna will be called as the test antenna, and the antenna which you are going to measure or used to measure, you can say the pattern will be called as the probe antenna. So I can say this is nothing but the probe antenna. So whenever you are talking about this kind of the antenna, so here let us represent all these things in the spherical coordinate system. This is y coordinate, this is z coordinate, and let us say this is x coordinate. So I can say this is the test antenna, this is the probe antenna, whereas I am having this particular, I can say let us talk about this antenna, where this antenna will be on this plane. So I can say this particular thing will be 5, this angle will be called as a 5 angle, and I can say as this is there, I'll call it as a theta, and this is nothing but the distance of that particular antenna from your test antenna. So let us draw the perpendicular over here. So here you can have, now here as this particular antenna is the probe antenna, you will have both the components h5 and e theta like this. Okay, so here when we are talking about the spherical coordinate system, this is nothing but the representation of your particular antenna fields in the spherical coordinate system. So in the measurement, we move a probe antenna around the test antenna here around a constant distance from it, and note the response as a function of the angular coordinate. So this is the process how we are going to measure the radiation pattern of any antenna. Now let us talk about the different patterns of the antenna. So first we'll talk about the isotropic antenna. So when we talk about the isotropic antenna, here the isotropic antenna is the antenna which radiates equally in all directions. So this radiates equally in all directions. So I can say the antenna whose power radiated in all directions will be so same. It is a point source of radiation. So assuming that this is nothing but the point source of the radiation. Now it is not possible, it is not a practical antenna. So you can say it's not a practical antenna, it's a hypothetical antenna. Since it radiates equally in all directions, the radiation is independent of theta and phi. So I can say the radiation is independent on theta and 5. Thus the radiation pattern of this antenna will be spherical. Now let us see how this particular radiation pattern will look like. So isotropic antenna does not exist actually, but this antenna can be used as the reference antenna to compare performance of other antennas. So let us see the 3D pattern of this particular antenna. So if you talk about the 3D pattern of radiation of this particular antenna, you will get this kind of the radiation pattern over here. So we can say this is nothing but the power radiated equally in all the direction. I'll say this is y coordinate, this is z coordinate, and this will be the x coordinate. So this angle will be theta, this angle will be called as the 5. So here I can assume this is my isotropic antenna. So this antenna will be called as the isotropic antenna, and this is nothing but the radiation pattern of the antenna. So we can understand that this antenna radiates equal amount of power in all the direction. Suppose I am assuming another condition. So this is the 3D pattern. I can say the another pattern is nothing but I am going to measure at theta is equal to 90-degree plane, how that particular pattern will look like for this isotropic antenna. So if you draw this particular, you will have again the same kind of the characteristics. So at theta is equal to 90-degree, I'll get this kind of the pattern where this will be the x, this will be the y, and this you can say theta is equal to 90-degree. Now third, see that we'll assume that our theta, or will draw it with respect to the phi. So if you're drawing it with respect to the phi, I'll assume that first that C, the phi is equal to 0-degree plane, and the next one I'll assume that phi is equal to 90-degree plane. So for 0-degree plane, I'll have the pattern like this, and I can say this is my z-axis and this is nothing but the x-axis, and this is the theta. Now again I am talking when phi is equal to 90-degree plane. So here my radiation pattern will be like this. This will be the z, this will be the y, and pattern will be like this. Okay? So you can say in any situation you will have the radiations in a, you can say, equally in all the directions. So this is all about the isotropic antenna. Now let us talk about the practical antenna, which is nothing but the directional antenna. So when we talk about the directional antenna and the radiation pattern of the directional antenna, the definition of the directional antenna, we can say the antenna which radiates a more amount of power in a particular direction will be called as the directional antenna. So let us talk about the directional antenna now. So in the directional antenna, I can define this antenna like this. So this can be said that radiate more in a particular direction. So it will have a more power in a particular direction and less power in the other direction. Now let us talk about the radiation properties or radiation pattern of this particular antenna. So if you draw the radiation pattern, it will radiate more in, say, z direction. So you'll have this kind of the pattern, and then you will have this smaller radiations in other directions. So here we say where it radiates more will be called as the major lobe. These lobes which are as compared to major lobe less power will be called as the minor lobe, and 180-degree you will find one more lobe over here. This will be called as the back lobe. Now we are going to discuss about these lobes separately. So here you are having a major lobe, you are having, these are nothing but the minor lobes. Now where you are getting the nulls or where you are getting the zero power, this particular will be called as the null directions, where I am getting a zero power. So I am showing it with the dotted line. So these are the null direction. So here you can see this is the x coordinate, y coordinate, and a z coordinate. Now if we talk about this particular lobes, now here we can see there are some direction where there is no radiation, here will be called as the null. Now in between the two adjacent lobe, here I have a two adjacent nulls, over here I have these are nothing but the lens, I have some radiation. Now these lobes will be classified as a major lobe, minor lobe. Now between the nulls whatever I have is called as the lobes. So the classification of lobes will be like this. So if I classify the lobes will be classified in a different. So first lobe I'll talk is nothing but the major lobe, which you can see the maximum radiation. The second is nothing but the minor lobe, which now you can see these the smaller radiations or very small amount of power will be transmitted, will be called as the minor lobes. Next is the side lobe. So this side lobe you can see side lobes. Now we are going to discuss it separately. And the last one is nothing but the back lobe. Now let us see each and every lobe separately. So we have seen four types of the lobes: major lobe, minor lobe, side lobe, and a back lobe. So what do you mean by a major lobe? So when I'm talking about the major lobe, we can see, so first we'll talk about the major lobe. So how we are going to discuss the major lobe over here? So here you can say this is also called as the main lobe. The major lobe will also called as the main lobe. Now here you can say the radiation lobe containing a direction of maximum radiation. So here you will have maximum radiation direction will be called as the major lobe. Now you can say that the major lobe is pointing in the theta is equal to 0 direction. So theta is equal to 0 direction. In some antennas such as a split beam antennas, there may exist more than one major lobe. Here we are having only one major lobe, but in some of the antennas you find that there are one or more major lobe. Now next one is nothing but the minor lobe. How you are going to define a minor lobe? Here it is any lobe except a major lobe will be called as a minor lobe. So except major lobe, whatever lobes are there will be called as the minor lobes. Now third one is nothing but the side lobe. So you can say it is the radiation lobe in any direction other than the intended lobes. Usually a side lobe is adjacent to main lobe. So here I can define this will be the adjacent to main lobes, and it occupies the hemisphere in the direction of the main lobe. Now last one is nothing but the back lobe. So what do you mean by the back lobe? Here it is a radiation lobe whose axis makes an angle approximately 180 degree with respect to major beam or major lobe of an antenna. Now usually it refers to a minor lobe that occupies the hemisphere in the direction opposite that of the major lobe. So this is the second antenna, which is nothing but the directional antenna. Now let us talk about the third antenna, which is nothing, or third radiation pattern of antenna, that is omnidirectional antenna. So when we talk about the omnidirectional antenna, now how you are going to define the omnidirectional antenna? So omnidirectional antenna is defined as an antenna having an essentially non-directional pattern in a given plane and a directional pattern in any orthogonal plane. So this antenna will be non-directional pattern in a given plane, and it will have a directional pattern in any orthogonal plane. So this is nothing but the definition of an omnidirectional antenna. So let us talk about the radiation pattern without a minor lobe. So if I talk about the directional, or you can say omnidirectional antenna without the minor lobe, your radiation pattern for this antenna will be like this. So you will have this kind of the radiations over there. So this is without minor lobe. So I can say this is Y, this is Z, and this is X. So I can say this is without minor lobe. If I want to draw the radiation pattern with the minor lobe for the same omnidirectional antenna, my presentation of the radiation pattern will be like this. So if you see this kind of the things, here you will have the Z axis, this will be the Y axis, and this will be the X axis, and here you are having a major lobes like this, and you will have the minor lobes here like this. So I can say this is my omnidirectional antenna with the minor lobe. So I can say this is my omnidirectional antenna with the minor lobe. So you can see here in a XY plane it radiates equally in all direction, and in a plane perpendicular to xy plane it radiates differently in the different direction. So an omnidirectional pattern is a special type of directional pattern. So some antennas as a dipole, loops, broadside arrays, etc. exhibits omnidirectional pattern. So this is all about the different radiation patterns. Then in the next session we'll talk about the principal patterns. So we'll stop here. Thank you.